Hi everyone, today we're going to learn the first two solos from Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, and they sound like this. Cool. So in this Sweet Child of Mine guitar lesson, we're going to look at the scales and the techniques that you're going to need to be able to play both of those solos. Before we get started, remember in the description below this video, we've got a link to our website where there's a full write-up with all the scales that you're going to need. And if you like this stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more. Okay, so first thing to note is that they're all going to be based around D. Okay, we're actually using the notes from G major, but it's all based around, it's very, very strongly pulling back to this D chord. So really, we can think about it in D. Technically, we're using notes from D mixolydian, which are the same notes from G major. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. If you're interested in modes, then check out our site. There's a bit more detail on there for you. So for the actual track, all the guitars are tuned to E flat, just because it's usually easier to play along in standard tuning. I've done this whole lot in standard tuning, so you don't have to retune. So let's just look at the notes. So this first bit, we'll go through that bit first. So we're starting on the G string here on the 14th fret with the third finger, then index finger on the 12th fret of the G string, and then index finger just slide down one to the 11th. So we get, okay, we get that a couple of times there. If I get in really close so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then the next bit, we have a different ending note. So, okay, so it's the same, except instead of going to the 11th fret here, we're now going to the 14th fret on the D string. So it's going to go 14, 12 on the G, and then 14 on the D. And then it just does the G on the G string, 14 to 12. Okay, so let's put those bits together, because then after that we're getting into some bending. So we've got, okay, that's where we've got up to. The next bit sounds like this. Okay, so we'll break that down into smaller bits because there's a bit more going on there. We've got this bend and release and then down to another note, all on the G string. So let's look at that. It's a 14th fret, it's a full bend up and then a release. So just remember your technique for bending is you're bending from your forearm here. You're rotating your forearm. You're not trying to use your fingers like that. You're not going to have the control there. Keep the pressure down and let the note ring out as you release the bend as well. So we got, and then we're down to the 12th fret. And then we do that same bend again. And while you're on that bend, use your little finger on the 15th fret of the B string. Okay, so we've got, and then we're going to do another full bend on the B string. And then a release again. So that's 15th fret on the B, full bend up. So remember, full bend means 2 frets. You bend up as far as you would to get the note that's 2 frets above. And then release, and then we're coming back here, which is the 14th fret on the D string. And I'm sliding up 2 frets, but you could also bend up 2 frets there. So we've got okay, so we'll go through them again. It's G string, 14 bend, release, 12, 14 bend, 15 on the B, bend, release, and then 14 on the D to the 16 or a bend up if you want. Okay. So I'll go through that whole, that's the first solo. I'll go through that slowly and then we'll look into the second one. Okay, so you have to listen to that a lot for the rhythm, but that's a really nice, really catchy melodic solo. And the second one sort of builds on that, so it takes that same melody from it and it just extends it a bit more as the song builds. So the next one sounds like this. It's because it's twice as long. Because it's twice as long, it's longer. So let's go through it. Okay, so there's a lot of themes that are present in both the first and the second solo. I think the second one just takes it on a little bit further. So let's look at what we've got. Same as the first. Okay, all the way up to there, it's exactly the same as the first solo, so we won't go through it again. So once we've got that bit, where in the first one we start bending up, we just do that again. So there's 2 of them now, which is the 14th on the G to the 12th on the G. Okay, and then we're going to shift position, middle finger I think, to the 11th fret on the G string, and it's a half bend up. Okay, so we're bending up to the sound of the 12th fret, but we're doing it as a bend. And then we're playing the 12th fret on the D string, 12th fret on the D string. And then we do that bend again, which remember is the 11th fret on the G string. And then while you're holding that bend, catch the 10th fret on the high E string with your index finger. And then pick the, it's now pre-bent, the G string. And then release it. So we get. All right. So I'll put all those bits together. I'll include the first part so you can hear the phrasing of it. So. All right, so I'll just go through that again really slow. Got to catch that high E string properly, but that's what we're going for with that. So that's the first time round. Second time round, we take a little bit further. Sounds like this. So let's check that bit out. So, same again. That's all we get, that's the same. And then we're into a bend on the 14th fret of the G string. Full bend. Little finger on the 15th fret of the B string. And then the index finger on the 13th fret of the B string. And then it's a slide up, so quick slide from the 15th fret on the B up to the 17th fret on the B. And then we can go. So it's 2 picks in the slide. And that's starting on 17, 17, 17, slide to 15, 15, 15, slide to 13. All right, so let's look at those bits before we get on to the next part. So. All right, so that's the same. That's a bit quicker than it is in the other times. And then it's the bend, 14, up to the 16th, or the sound of the 16. 15, 15, 13 on the B, slide up to the 17, and then 17, 17, 15, 15, 15, 13. Then we've got. All right, that is quite a nice little across the strings run. So we're coming. I like to do that with my middle finger on the 12th fret of the B string. It's a bend, semitone bend up, half bend on the 12th fret, so it sounds like you're going to the 13. Okay, and then I use my index finger to play the 12th fret on the G. And then on the D string. So I'm kind of rolling it. I think you can see that there. So that way I can use one finger for both strings, and by rolling it, it means I'm not going to get them bleeding out. So I don't really want it to sound like a chord. I want it to sound like 3 individual notes. All right, so. And then we've got another bend up on the 14th fret of the G. Release to 12 on the G, and then another bend of the 14th fret on the G, and then you play, once you play the 15th fret on the B, and then bend it, and then release, and then shift up 2 frets, 17th fret here on the B string, it's a full bend, and then with your little finger, catch the 17th fret on the E string. I don't know if you can see that there. So you get that sort of choked sound, which is really good. It's really builds the intensity of the solo up for the next chorus. Okay, so let's go through that second half of the second solo, nice and slowly. Cool. So if I play that whole second solo through now, I'll play at normal speed and then I'll play it at slow speed, and then I think we'll be done with this solo lesson. So here we go. Normal speed first. Cool. And then slow. Cool. So out of that, I would say probably some of the hardest parts is this part definitely is difficult. It's just got that bent. And you have to keep that independent of what this finger's doing. That's tough. I'd practice that separately. It's really nice sound. And just generally for bends on this, just get really comfortable with getting them under control and to the right pitch. Cool. So that is the first and second solo of Sweet Child of Mine. Remember to like our channel and subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing, so you can see more of this kind of videos. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget, in the description, there is a link to our website where there's a full write-up as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.